Lindsay is here as well.
Yes.
Hi, Kevin. Is John going to join us today?
John, oh, I forgot to introduce John. Yeah, John is here.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
And Abraham, just for you, I've started on the minutes and I'll send that over to you when I exit tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, it is 6:30, so let's get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Street Life Committee meeting of Community Board 8. My name is Abraham Saucedo, and I co-chair this committee along with Lindsay Cormack. For the record, today's Tuesday, September 10th, 6:30. A couple of rules of the road. What we're going to do is we're going to go down the agenda. We're going to invite every applicant and/or their representative to speak on their application and give us a brief summary. Helpful information for the applications are whether there's been any 301 complaints for the location, whether the location is ADA accessible, um, outdoor application, whether there's any rear yard or outdoor space that's going to be used. So if you, and hours of operation. So if you can provide those in your summary, that would help move things along. As a reminder, any actions taken here by this committee will go to the full board meeting on Wednesday, September 18th. That's going to be at Marymount Manhattan College, 221 East 71st Street. A few other items. Please remember to direct all comments to the co-chairs only. Want to avoid any crosstalk. Let's always remember to abide by the rules of decorum. And we have a full agenda today, so let's try to be efficient with our comments and keep comments strictly to the merits of an application. I know some people have to drop off early. I think there's some competing event later this evening. So with that, I will go hand over to John or Kevin for the technical rules of the road.
Hi, everyone. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you'll notice that you are currently muted and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the committee co-chairs, Lindsay and Abraham, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. As we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to the react icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in on the phone, it is *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you need to go to the participant section where you will find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Thank you.
Okay, great. So before we get started, I just want to do a quick roll. I have myself, Lindsay, Bill, Robin. I also see Judy and Marco and Brian Grist, all board and committee members. And then who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
I feel like it could be a John Phillips doppelganger, but I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing, so.
Kevin, can you please mute or unmute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I put my name in, but it looks like it didn't.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's fine. We'll just put it that you're here.
Yep.
So it is in fact John. Okay, good. Great. Marco, do you have a question before we get started?
Yes, thank you so much. I would like that you acknowledge that we have Barry Schneider tonight. I think we have to acknowledge him. He's one of the old community members that we should acknowledge him. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Yes, Barry, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a while. Good to see your face.
Okay, and with that, let's get started. We're going to start with new applications to the New York State Liquor Authority for liquor licenses. Do we have a representative from Alice Teacup 2 here?
I believe that's Danny, and everyone who is here as part of an application, please raise your virtual hand so I can select on you quickly. So I believe that is Danny Grace for Alice Teacup. Is anyone here representing Alice's Teacup?
I see a Danny Grace, yeah.
Hi, good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I'm here. And also we have Ming Zhang is one of the owners of the business. I believe I did see his name.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Hi, yeah, so we won't take too much of your time. So good evening, everyone. My name is Danny Grace. I'm the attorney for Alice Teacup 2, which does business as Alice's Teacup, one of 3 locations in the city. One is on the west side. This one we have on the east side, and in a smaller version in Brooklyn. Alice Teacup actually has previously operated under different owners for many years, and many people here may be familiar. But it's essentially a tea shop with some many food items, sandwiches, the kids menu and everything. And the prior establishment had a liquor license. Liquor is not a central function of this business, but in order for continuity of concept and also to have the option available, the new owners look to continue. They've applied for a temporary license, so once that's approved, they can operate as such. Opening hours weekdays 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and weekends 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So never open any later than 6 p.m. And if you have any specific questions, I'm sure Ming will be happy to answer them for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Before going to members of the board, is there anyone from the public that's like to comment or have questions about this applicant? Seeing none, let's recognize Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion should be approved as presented. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we recognize Judy, please?
I'd like to second the motion, and I have a question for Mr. Grace or Mr. Zhang. Is the menu going to be the exact same menu as you had before? Or will it
Yes, it's
change at all?
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's gonna be the same menu, just a bunch of tea stuff and pastries.
Same menu as before.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve on the floor. Bill?
I'd like to call the question.
Okay.
Uh,
And I see seconds from people. Bill, did you want to say something else or no?
Yes, I want to say something. I would like all the applicants, when they're speaking, to turn on their camera.
Okay, thank you. That request is for applicants that are going to come after this one to please turn cameras on when you're speaking to the board. We have a motion to approve. We have called the question. If anyone's going to vote no or abstain for any reason on this, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as unanimous approval. All right, thank you. It looks like this one is going to be unanimous approval. Let's move on to our next applicant.
Thank you very
Lindsay,
much.
just
Good evening.
Thank you.
Lindsay, just before that, Todd is here, TJ Stein. Let's see. I don't know if you have Marco down, but Marco is here. John Phillips,
Mhm.
Robin, Judy, Brian, Bill, and yourself and Abraham.
Yeah, that's the same count I have. Thank you very much. And TJ is under Marlene. Is that what? Oh, I see Todd Stein now. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so that one will go down as unanimous. And let's
Was Todd in on that last vote? Or is Todd going forward?
Do you wish to comment on that?
I'm good, yes, I'm with everybody.
Okay, great. So that's a 9 then, a 9-0. Cool.
Let's next move to Ayaz and Aidan Inc., doing business as Sultan Mediterranean Cuisine.
And I believe that's Anthony. Anthony, let me find you. Okay, here you are.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Hi, hope everybody had a great summer. My name is Anthony Caraballo. I am the rep for Ayaz and Abdan. I have the co-applicant with us, Jihan Abdan, who is a partner. This is a transfer application for a full liquor license at 791 Lexington Avenue. The prior owner, the seller, also has a Mediterranean restaurant. There's also been a restaurant there for quite some time. Pretty straightforward, no change in the previous method of operation, background music only, no outdoor seating, 18 tables, 64 seats, 9 seats at a bar. The applicant has experience in the industry, so does his partner, Mehmet Ali Sigva. He's owned Turco Mediterranean, which is a gyro place at 604 9th Avenue. And we'd be delighted to address any questions the committee might have. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Before going to the committee, is there anyone from the public here who has questions or comments on this application? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Yeah, I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve as presented. If somebody has to second, thank you.
Okay, it looks like Abraham seconds this. I feel comfortable calling the question.
Great. Happy to support that.
Great.
Yep.
So if there's anyone who wants to vote no or abstain on this application, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as unanimous approval. Perfect.
Well,
Thank you,
thank you so
everyone.
much. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we are hearing from 1557 Yucca Restaurant. Is there a representative from Yucca here?
I believe that's Yu Chen. You raise your hand, please, so I can find you. Mr. Chen, are you here? Or anyone representing that organization? Not seeing anything now.
Okay, Kevin, in the interest of time, let's move on to the next one. And then if they come, will you please just let us know? Great. Let's go then to PLJ Hospitality, doing business as Nick's Family Style Restaurant and Pizzeria. Is there a representative? I see someone.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Kathleen Stathopoulos, I'm here for this applicant. So this application is really the same thing that's there now, Nick's Family Style Restaurant and Pizzeria. It's the same family that's moving forward with this. They're changing from PLJ Rest Corp. To PLJ Hospitality LLC. Their son, Demetrius, was the person who ran it. Now his son is going to come into it and run it along with Demetrius. The only change is going to be everything's the same. The only reason we have to file for a full application again is because they are changing the tax ID and the corporation. So it's a brand new application. The other change is they are going from a restaurant wine to a full liquor, and they are changing the service bar to a customer bar. Other than that, the menu's the same, the hours of operation are the same. There's no change. They've been there, I believe, since 2006.
Thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that have comments or questions for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to the board. Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion and then to speak. The motion is to approve.
Okay, that's seconded by Abraham.
Okay, I have a question about do you have any outdoor cafe, sidewalk or roadway cafe? And
Okay.
if it is part of this application, yes or not?
Yes, so there is under the current license there is a outdoor cafe, a roadway cafe. We did file prior to August 3rd to legalize it for next year. So yes, there is. Of course, it's kind of interesting because that cafe is under the old corporation. Now that these are new rules, I'm not sure how that's going to work, although I did read that there is going to be some type of means in which a corporate name can be changed on a cafe. So it is part of my application. I did indicate it in the community board notice that we have a cafe there. Of course, once again, not in the name of it hasn't been filed in the name of this corporation, though. I have to say that it's been filed in the name of the old corporation.
My question basically is, are you in compliance with the new regulations? I'm sorry, I shouldn't recommend the approval, but as long as you said that must be in compliance with the new rules, I think I don't have a problem.
Yeah, we will be in compliance. I mean, we filed our plans with the Department of Transportation that are in compliance with the rules. So yes, we will be.
So you are willing to accept an stipulation or an affidavit saying that you will comply with the whole regulations?
Absolutely, no problem.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still going to support your application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And it sounds like we might be seeing you again then when you decide to apply for the Department of Transportation for the sidewalk cafe pieces.
Oh, there was one
Judy.
other thing I wanted to point out. I'm sorry, just a change in the application. I sent it to your office, but late today. But I did indicate that we were subject to the 500-foot rule. But then I learned later on when I received my plans from the surveyor that we're not. There's only 2 licenses within there, so we're not subject to the 500-foot rule. I just wanted to point that out to you. And I did make that change, and I did send you a new 500-foot law statement as well as the plans, the surveys itself. Okay.
Thank you very much. Judy.
Call the question.
Okay. That's seconded by Bill. Great. So if there's anyone who would like to vote no on this application or abstain, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down with the unanimous approval, and Marco, I'll have it reflect the stipulation about being in compliance with the DOT regulations on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day. Good night.
Good night. Let's now go to OC 1664 3rd Avenue, doing business as Old City Cheesesteaks and Brew.
Right. Good evening, members. My name is Mastin Sansom. I'm joined here by Evan Stein, who is the applicant. I'm the attorney representing the applicant, OC 1664, 3rd Ave LLC, DBA Old City Cheesecakes and Brew, seeking an on-premises liquor license, restaurant license at 1664 3rd Ave. The applicant would be replacing an existing licensee with a similar method of operation. Premises features background music only, no outdoor areas. All windows and doors will be kept closed. Sound should not be an issue for those reasons. The applicant has other licenses of essentially the same type throughout the city, is a responsible operator, and they maintain a robust alcohol security policy. All servers will be tips trained, and there'll be a manager on duty at all times.
Thank you very much. Are there any members from the public that have questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's recognize Marco.
Thank you. I have a question. This application is part of your sidewalk or roadway cafe, or is not part of the application, these two?
No, there are no outside areas, so yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think that's it. I will support your application, but I cannot put a motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judy.
Move to approve.
Wonderful. That's seconded by Abraham. I'm willing to call the question, seconded by Bill. If there's anyone who would like to vote no or abstain from this application, please let me know. Otherwise, it'll go down as a unanimous approval. All right. Everyone, I'm so happy with how this is moving right along. Let's keep it going. Next, if we can hear.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If we can hear from Candlelight, I might be saying that wrong, 1705 First Avenue. Or Candlelight. Okay.
Hi, Nadia Shahjahan, attorney representing Candlelight LLC.
Thank you. Please tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. So this is a transfer application for Stella and Fly. It is a neighborhood wine bar and coffee shop. It has been in operation since 2018. It's a straight up transfer application. The method of operation is not going to change. There is a roadway cafe, which the new owners are in the process of applying for the DOT license, and we're happy to stipulate, that we will abide by the new regulations that are in place, and happy to take any questions from the community board. We have the managing partner for Candlelight LLC, Cassandra Fields, is also on the call as well.
Great. Are there any questions or comments from the public for this applicant? Okay, seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Thank you. Are you willing to accept a stipulation that's saying that you're going to apply for the sidewalk and the roadway cafe and comply with all the rules?
Of course.
So you're willing to file to provide an affidavit as well as a part of the stipulation of this approval?
Sure.
Okay, I will support your application. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Judy.
We have one public question from Pamela Tucker.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't see that hand come up.
Oh, my
let's
hand wasn't
unmute.
up. I had a problem. I had to chat. Thank you. I have a question. If you could please, if the presenters could please present the live music, when the hours that will be for the live music, and will the door be closed when there's live music?
Yes.
And everything else that concerns the live music. Thank you.
Of course. So did you want clarification on?
Yes, I would please like the dates and the hours, and how frequently that will be. I think it used to be Friday nights, very loud music. And will that be changing the days? And will the door be shut, or are you planning to stream the music out to the shed as well? Thank
No,
you.
so yes, so we will absolutely work with the neighborhood if there's loud music complaints. Cassandra, who's the managing partner, is going to be on site, and she is, anything, they're looking to move to the neighborhood and be an active member of the community. So any issues with noise is something that Cassandra is willing to address directly. And
Sure.
with in terms of the live music schedule, I'm sure that's something that will be available on their social media page. And if it becomes an issue, please, definitely reach out to Cassandra to address that. And she'll be happy to work with the community on addressing any loud noises.
Do you have a general sense of, is it anticipated to be the weekends, hours?
It'll probably be the weekends and probably not going later until, it won't be going until 4 a.m. or anything like that. It'll be a restricted amount of time for the live music.
And may I please ask one more question? When will the social media and the website, the website be working?
Cassandra, I'll turn that over to
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We are working very diligently to get those both up and running and accurate as possible, as well as work on our scheduling of entertainment and, for example, trivia nights. And I'm there daily, even though it's not finalized just yet, but I am there daily. I welcome you to come in and we can discuss any issues you've had in the past and scheduling as well, because I'm open to reassessing if there have been issues. Of course, we want to be an absolute, a good neighbor. We want to be an actual neighbor as well. So I will definitely be available to assist you. And we don't have, again, the website up yet, but we are working toward that end in short order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a couple of reminders from the community board standpoint. We do have all applicants reminders, close doors and windows by 10 p.m. daily, so that if there is any live music, it doesn't emanate outside. And if and when you are approved for the outdoor space, roadway or sidewalk, there is no live music allowed on the outdoor portions.
Understood.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Lindsay?
Yeah, let's go to Judy.
Move to approve.
Wonderful. That's seconded by Abraham, and I feel good calling the question, seconded by Bill. If there is anyone who's going to vote no or abstain, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as unanimous approval.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night. Kevin, have we got anyone back from Yucca Restaurant?
Yes, we do. We have Yu Chen, Chen Yu.
Okay, let's circle back there before we go to the change application so we can just close out this piece.
Yeah.
你干嘛？
现在我们
Hi, Yu Chen. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and your application?
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hi.
Yes.
Yes, can you tell us a little bit about your business and your application for the liquor license?
Yeah, here we is the Japanese restaurant and the location in the 2 Avenue Manhattan. So here around different style restaurant and some from the other country customers.
Okay, and my understanding is that you do not have any plans for any outdoor area?
No outdoor.
Okay, and can you tell us the hours of your restaurant?
We open 12 o'clock to 10:30.
Okay, I'm looking at your application right now, and it looks like it says 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m., but are you saying that that should be corrected to close at 10 p.m.?
Yeah, we open earlier, but usually it's doing a side job. Really open to customers to 12 or 11:30.
Okay, and the closing time is 10 p.m., not 11 p.m.?
Yes, but usually sometimes some customers too late, so we will be open to later. But usually it's 10.
Okay. Are there any questions from the community or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve as presented. Somebody has to second. Thank you.
It looks like it's seconded by Abraham. Judy?
Call the question.
Perfect. That's seconded by Bill. So if there's anyone who would like to vote no or abstain on this application, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a unanimous approval. All right, it looks like this will go down as a unanimous approval. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on now to the second part of our agenda, which are change applications to the New York State Liquor Authority for liquor licenses. Is there a representative from Shake Shack here?
Nicholas?
Nicholas, we see you, and if you'll please turn your camera on when you're talking with the board, that's the request.
Hello.
Hi.
How are we?
Doing good. I know we saw you last month, and it was quite a process. Can you tell us how you sort of like have come to update or address the issues that were raised last month?
Yes, definitely. And I'm glad that we're back. And I did get in touch with the operations, the area director, which he said he would be on around 7 as early as he could make it. But if he pops on, we'll see if we can hear from him a little bit because he's in direct relationship with the community. But from what we discussed last time, definitely I want to address some of the concerns, right? So I had the chance to go up into the upper east side and, you know, look at the shack, see what the operation looks like, see what the community the concerns that the community had. And I definitely say that we are going to address a couple of things that we see that we can help to dampen the noise. I feel like that was one of the major concerns. So while going down there, I looked at that ramp that we bring the food, our vendors bring the food down, and it is a steel-plated ramp, and it does have heating pads underneath the ramp so that when it does snow in the winter, it doesn't ice over and it clears the snow so that we can get the food down to the loading area. So we are getting a vendor to come out and tighten welds, doing as much as we can do with the ramp that's in place currently to kind of dampen that noise, make sure everything is secure. As I walked on it, I definitely heard that it is a very loud ramp. And I think a lot of that has to do with some of the screws missing in it. So, I mean, it's been there over 10 years. So that is definitely one thing that we're going to have to do with that. Another thing, we did talk to a couple of the vendors, especially the ones that get there overnight and can't really adjust their schedule because they have to be to other locations throughout the day. A couple of them have agreed to put down like a padded blanket on that noisy ramp, especially if anything is coming earlier than 7 a.m. We want to make sure that, you know, people get to rest in the morning, and I think after 7 o'clock is a good time to, you know, there is noise everywhere after that. And then talk to the landlord because we talked about the sign that it is a public courtyard. There is one on the back wall that is a very large size. Since it's on the landlord's building, we're going to ask them to put another large sign in the front of the patio saying that is the public area. And then the late night noise, you know, along with letting our staff ask the guests to be respectful if they're out there late, we are going to put up some respect your neighbor signs and for like the noise being down late night. We also have addressed the kind of the concern with the plots right in front of the Shake Shack. with the litter. I did talk to the area director, and he says, they didn't know that they were supposed to be cleaning that stuff out. So they have started to do that as the weeks have gone by. But they do say that there is some food cart vendors, food truck vendors in that area as well. So they will keep up as best as possible, but we ask that everyone do their part in the community.
Nicholas, thank you very much. I have two questions on this. One is, when you talked about the new signs that were meant to go up, when do you anticipate those being up?
We have a request into the landlord. If the landlord, first we want approval, right? Because it's might be on their building as well. And I know they're very picky with what goes on their building. So once we hear back from them, if they say no and we can only put it on probably the gate area, I'm sure that we'll put that up within a couple months.
Okay, and then you did a very nice job of addressing most of the objections that came from last month. There is one outstanding piece about smell, and there was some argument about if there was an ability to mitigate that. Can you tell us any efforts that you took on that front?
So smell in the area, like this hamburger smell or like the garbage area smell?
I think it was more the hamburger smell, but probably both.
So I'm not up there every day. The one thing that I did notice when I came up out of the subway is that it didn't smell like hamburger. So I was under the impression that it was going to be a very harsh smelling fast food. I did not get that impression. Maybe it was the day, maybe we were a little bit slower. I think it was a Tuesday that I was up there. So not one of our busier days, but I didn't really notice that much. So, I mean, I don't live up there. So I can't say that every day it's like that. But that is something that I don't have a true answer for you right now. Since I didn't really smell it, I didn't think that it was a major concern, but if I see a lot of hands raising, so I'll pass to them.
Okay, so before we get to board members, let's see Alan Sheen or Alan Shine.
Alan Shine, can I talk with the video off or you need it on? I'll put it on if you want.
We prefer it on, but you're not
got it.
representing the business, I don't think. So if you have a question, let's have it.
Okay, two things. You didn't mention the garbage area, which is always filthy and people making noise back there all the time from the Shake Shack. And there's 2 steps or maybe 3 steps that lead down where it's in the middle between in the middle of the area, by the garbage area. And when they bring up and down, they go up and down those steps, they make a racket. And Action, I think they still use Action garbage removal. And they come in 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 12 at night, and they make a racket. And also at times they come in, and I think it's the disposal of the oil, excess oil or old oil, and they bring from 85th Street, a long tube hose or whatever you want to call it, to drain it. They make a noise, they make a racket. At night is not the time to be doing anything in our neighborhood. That's the way I see it. And I've been complaining about that for 10 years. I've had discussions with them. They call up Action. Action would obey the rules for about a day, 2 days, and go right back to where they were. I've had discussions with them, and they were real nasty about it. I would go downstairs and ask them not to come at 2 in the morning because they were waking me up, and they were nasty about it. So I would be in Shake Shack. For the first couple of years, I was in Shake Shack at least 1 or 2 times a week. So that's it for me. But I think that they have to look into that because it's keeping people up. Thank you. And thank you. Thank the board. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Nicholas, is there anything you'd like to respond to in there?
So yeah, I did, Alan did bring this up last time. So I did inquire about our garbage situation. Action, again, another vendor that is used all over the city. So they have to be in certain locations overnight. One, because New York is a congested area, and picking garbage up middle of the day, it doesn't always work, especially in different areas that are very populated. As for garbage, I did address it with the managers, and I asked what the process is. They explained to me that around 10 o'clock, maybe depending on the night, maybe 9 o'clock, they start to bring garbage out. We don't bring any like tubs up those stairs. It is only garbage bags out of the tubs, because I was like, I want to know, is it a thud? Like what is happening? Because that's what I kind of was my impression. And they said they don't actually bring like the full garbage up. It's just per bag. So it shouldn't be hitting the stairs as it goes up, and it shouldn't be that loud. It is a shared garbage area with the community's residential building as well. So they use that action as well. And if maybe we can have that landlord reach out to them and see if there is a certain plan to be more respectful to their residents as well.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Diane Rivers.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. And there's two of us to comment, whenever it's appropriate. Thank you for the update from Shake Shack. Much appreciated. I wanted to comment on the sign comment. There is a small sign up at the front of the stairs on 86th Street, and it just says open to the public, but it's hardly noticeable. So pretty much useless in my book. Then there's one at the back of the courtyard behind a tree, and it says, again, open to the public, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So my question is, why is Shake Shack exempt from complying with those rules? What wakes me up, since all my windows face the courtyard, I'm on the 3rd floor, if you recall, that's what wakes me up in the morning. It's all the deliveries, on that ramp coming through. Nothing has changed since the last month that we've been here. And, I don't know, I just am left with the impression that Shake Shack just really doesn't care about us. It cares about its profits. And, it'd be nice that maybe they could do all their deliveries during normal business hours. I mean, follow the sign from 7 a.m. on until 10 p.m., whatever. So that's for me.
Hi, can I speak?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Kevin O'Malley. I live at 185 East 85th Street, 3J. I'm directly above the restaurant and the alleyway. Since the last call, number one, I don't know whose responsibility it is for notifying the neighborhood that there was this meeting at all. I was looking all over the place for signs saying that there was a Zoom call. There was none until yesterday. I happened to be in the alleyway taking out some garbage, and I saw they had put an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper on the gateway that's at the top of the stairs that faces the building, does not face the alleyway. And then there was another one at 85th Street at the entrance to the alleyway there. So there was really no discernible communication between Shake Shack and the neighborhood that this meeting was going to be taking place. And on the subject of the signage, they put that sign up, the big sign up recently, but of course they put it up right behind one of their fake trees. So it really, I don't, it was, I hate to say it, but it was really typical. The smell is bad. It's true that it's not always bad, but for instance, twice since we last spoke, I've had to leave my apartment because it was so bad, and I had the windows closed. So it gets to be extremely offensive. Okay, and another thing is we'd like to have addressed is the delivery trucks themselves. When they come into 86th Street, they park right in front of the alleyway. and their motors are running. And this is, you know, this is not the middle of, this is not a park. This is an alleyway with walls on all sides. There are times you can hear someone having a normal conversation right below the window. So it does get, you know, you can hear it. You can hear everything that goes on. And the smell is bad. They have told us over the years that they were planning on upgrading the equipment and stuff like that. But of course, that's never happened. Now, since the last meeting, one of the biggest problems I have with Shake Shack is they continue to send workers to that roof at 4 o'clock in the morning. On August 22nd, I think it was, they woke me up at 4:30 in the morning. They had generators going. They had what sounded like power washing equipment. They had men up there. And of course, with all those generators and with the power washing, if they needed to communicate amongst themselves, they're doing so at the top of their lungs. There's, you know, where do they think they are? This is not Bryant Park. Okay, so that is a particular thing, and they continue to do the power washing in the alleyway at the early mornings, and you know they've over the years have said, "Oh yeah, we'll look into it. Oh, well, I'm sure we'll be able to take care of it. You know, we want to be good neighbors." Well, they haven't, and it's been over a decade. So. I stopped even emailing them because for the longest time, the general manager, who I see is on the call now, he hasn't even bothered to return my emails. So that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you. Nicholas, I'm going to give you and the GM an opportunity to respond. The only thing that I'll note is that in the application, there are pictures of the signs posted in a sufficient number of things. And so while it seems like they might not have been where you saw it, the application does have that recorded for us. Nicholas and whoever else is meant to be representing Shake Shack.
Yeah, so I know Stephen is on the call, and I'll probably let him address the hood cleanings that we do monthly. But as for what was it? The first concern. I apologize.
The courtyard from 7 to 10 was the first comment.
Yes, and I mean we've been there before, way before my time. So I know that was an agreement with our founding CEO. And that I guess this community board or that landlord. So I'll have to look into what the agreement is. And deliveries, we asked the delivery trucks to be as diplomatic and respectful to every community that we reside in. The trucks that deliver stuff are refrigerated trucks, so they cannot be turned off. That is against their rules, the laws of having refrigerated product, because you can't, once you do that, you can't guarantee that everything has been stored safely, right? And I get it. There's communities all across the city, and those refrigerator trucks just cannot be turned off. So I do apologize about that, but there's no way around that. I do want to let Stephen talk about the hood cleaning overnight. So if you could just let him unmute. Perfect.
Hello. Hi. So for the hood cleaning, I would love to address that. So the vendor that we were using, after we had an inspection done, we came to realize they weren't using the correct filters. So that has been addressed, and our new vendor starts this month with addressing our hood. So that should help mitigate some of the smells that everyone has been having the issues with. And then for the deliveries, as Nicholas was stating, that we obviously speak to our vendors about this, but we removed our key jobs, so our vendors aren't allowed to make deliveries without us being present, and our managers doesn't get there until about 7:38. So that should help with this. One of our particular vendors, our bun delivery, our vendor has agreed to like deliver the buns on our ramp. That makes a lot of noise. Instead of using wheels, they're going to use like a padded mat that's going to help with the noise. And then we also have a vendor that came out 2 weeks ago to look at our ramp, and they're going to do some work on that ramp with welding it and tightening all the loose ends of it to help mitigate some of that noise that we are experiencing in that space as well.
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and recognize some members of the board and their questions or concerns. Let's start with John Phillips.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So this is the second time I've kind of been listening to it, and basically what this boils down to, outside of maybe one or two action items as far as the courtyard goes and customers being loud, is basically managing the third parties, which is a very difficult thing to do. Now, this was also mentioned, the hood and exhaust cleaning is directly related to the types of filters being used and the smell being emitted by the restaurant. And so if there's a new filtration system going in, and the hood and exhaust people are doing their job, that should really help out there. It probably has to be measured going into the future because there's a lot of ways that gets done. One of the ways is by actually going into the ductwork. Physically, the men go into the ductwork. And lights are kind of required for that, and there's some water hoses and equipment that's also required. So unfortunately, it becomes a matter of appetite for Shake Shack to either try to mitigate that by way of how they manage these processes, or not. And there's not always something that can be done. I also wanted to say that the refrigerated trucks cannot be turned off, and that is unfortunate. Delivery times, there could be some flexibility on. So I guess as a community board member, the thing that I would pose as a possible solution is to maybe speak to the third-party vendors that you're doing business with and see if they could get at least closer to what the tenants of the building across the alley are requesting. And I know probably more than half of those people are not going to be either willing or able to do what would be required for the community to be completely happy with the situation.
Nicholas or Stephen, is there anything there that you'd like to respond to?
Yeah, I agree totally, John. Thanks for that info. Yeah, so our vendors, yeah, I've already spoken to them personally, and most of them have agreed to after 7 a.m., which is what everyone requested. And the only vendor that couldn't do that was our bun delivery, and the solution we came up with was the padded mats for them to bring the buns down the courtyard. That's going to help with that noise. So. Thank you.
Also, just as a quick suggestion, wooden planks also help with noise mitigation on ramps. It creates some weight on there. It's a pretty low-tech solution to that problem. I know the location very well. I also know the courtyard and building very well. And even the slightest noise would be a disruption to the tenants, which unfortunately is just the reality of the locale for the restaurant.
Thank you. And then also all the work that we're doing on that ramp is going to help as well with tightening all the loose ends there, because it's just needs to be tightened up. So we got a welder coming on site tomorrow, and following that, we're gonna have some techs come in, tighten up all the screws.
And the hood and exhaust company that does the cleanings, if you don't mind my asking, have you spoken to them and seen if they can just kind of keep the noise down as far as crosstalk and light usage?
I definitely will address that with the new vendor. Since we brought this new vendor on, they're willing to do anything to keep the business. So they're going to be pretty respectful. Some of the noise that we're going to try our best, but I don't think they don't have any generators up there. It's probably a power wash because they need to get into all the ductwork.
Sure.
And spray everything down with degreaser, and then they got to use power wash to get the degreaser out. So they'll try their best, and they can only do this overnight, unfortunately. So, and it's only once a month, so we're gonna try our best to keep the noise down for that one.
If you don't mind my asking, who's the vendor for the hood cleaning?
Fireproofing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you. Oh, John, you have more?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go to Marco.
Thank you. Mr. Nicholas, I think you don't make enough efforts to resolve this problem. you hear the neighbors still complaining. And let me hear, first of all, let's go clarify something. For most of the fellow community members, they don't know. Maybe even you don't know. What you have as a court yard, this is not a courtyard. This is a plaza. Let me explain you what is the meaning of plaza. The plaza was created because our community has a large deficit of open spaces. So one of the brilliant ideas that Department of City Planning create is the plazas. It's called POPs, private open public spaces. So the developer went, knocked the door of the Department of City Planning and said, I want this deal. And the deal was for 1 square foot that provide for public use, they have 10, 12 square feet on the top of the building and they become millionaires. And that's a good, I think is nice, nothing wrong. The problem become a unilateral agreement. So the developer took everything and the community, they rather to invite the community inside of this plaza, what they did is they sunk the plaza. So they pushed away the people from the community, destroying the whole concept of the plaza. So now, since we cannot do much about that, the developer took millions of dollars on the top of the building because that's the real estate value. So now they came Shake and they said, we would like to use this public plaza, which basically the owner doesn't have the right to rent at all to you because that's the part of the agreement. So in that direction, I remember very well, one of the conditions was that you have to become a good neighbor, and you are failing to do that because clearly you see the neighbors still complaining. So seeing twice the same development going rather to become a good neighbor, rather to comply with the agreement that they were looking for, they don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Now, let me tell you about the exhaust. The exhaust, it is required to have the right size of the filters. So you have to control the number, the particles that go to the environment. So the neighbors cannot complain the smell. So it's either under dimension or is either negligent from your part. I don't care if you said that is a vendor. No, it's your responsibility. It's your business. And I had to target to you, not to the third-party vendors, because you have the power to hire them and you have the power to fire them. So the issue I'm seeing right here is you are not making enough efforts, and I strongly advise that you should really do something, because I walk by periodically in that area and I still having the smell. Sometimes when I'm hungry, I'm your client, but when I am full, I hate you place because I don't want to smell no more food. So I think that's probably the feeling of the neighbors. So myself, I'm asking strongly, please do something, something in benefit for your business and return back the peace and the quality of life of our neighborhood. I don't think that's only you have to start thinking in money, but you have to do the right thing. And at this time, if you don't want to do the corrections, probably I will start recommending the deal that we went through, saying that you have to become a good neighbors, and you are not. Once the neighbors complaining, you are not. So whatever you do, you have to do it. You have to hire the right person to do the business. And I think I'm going to stop right here. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicholas or Stephen, if there's anything you'd like to say to that, otherwise we can see what Robin's comments and questions are.
Hi, Marco. Thank you. Yes, I agree with everything. We are holding our vendors accountable, and we should hopefully see some better results in the coming days, coming future, for sure.
Robin.
Lindsay, thank you. So I have a very brief comment and a very kind of an easy question for Stephen. Nicholas, you mentioned that when you came out of the subway onto 86th Street, there was no odor. I have to tell you that that was a very atypical day because 86th Street always smells. And most of the time, so does 85th Street. Stephen, you mentioned that you're going to work on mitigating the odor. You mentioned that a few minutes ago. Is that correct?
Yes, because we have a new vendor that has taken over the exhaust cleaning. There's well versed with the system that we're using. We found some issues with it, so better filters more frequently, and our precipitator wash that was not working is now working. So this should help with the issues that we're seeing.
All right, thank you for that clarity. But can you commit to this community board, and in particular the neighbors who are suffering under these odors, can you commit that this is going to fix the problem?
I can commit that the system is going to work to the way it was designed, and that all parts of it will be workable to 100%.
Okay, but that's not really saying that the smell's going to go away. Okay, thank you.
John.
So this is actually a pretty important topic, and I suspect we're going to see more of this going into the future, and I'll try to keep it brief. So precipitators are a certain type of hood and exhaust system that is actually favored by New York City, especially when giving permits, because you don't have to run the length of a building. Specifically, the problem that Shake Shack has is the height of their building. And so unless they can run above or at least up to the average height of the buildings, the smell is always going to get trapped in things like courtyards. And so unless they build another 2 or 3 stories up or somehow get an exhaust stack up high enough, the suction from the traffic, the car traffic, is never going to move that smell from the 6th Street. Now, again, I agree with everybody who spoke. I live on 86th Street. It definitely smells like cheeseburgers most of the time. And I also truly believe that Shake Shack, at least with regard to this one issue, is doing everything they can to mitigate, and I'm sure it will be mitigated, but it will never completely disappear unless they somehow vent at least 4 stories above street level. And again, as far as the community board is concerned, we're going to see a lot of people coming with new construction trying to put precipitators in, because a lot of landlords don't want full stacks being built, and a lot of them won't allow restaurants to even take a lease out because of the amount of work that's required up front. So just a comment on that.
Okay, thank you. It seems like we've come to the end of the question comments here. Let's go to Marco.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to be in disagreement with my friend John. I think the issue right here is probably miscalculated the filters, because according with the mechanical code, it is allowable either in the top of the building to put the exhaust, which is the more optimal, and also is allowable 10 feet above of the sidewalk. And that's the case. And that's where they're allowed to do that as per building code. And the only situation is you had to have a more quality of filters, and you had to maintain more frequently. And it's doable. And if you can do work in that direction, yes, you can do that. But believe me, I think you got to fix that. And I don't think we had to, I strongly recommend we had to postpone this business, because we cannot continue like that. And if somebody wants to continue, so basically I will go in opposition and I will speak against this application strongly. So my advice is And Mr. Nicholas, please take another month, fix your problems, come back. We will have the neighbors, and then we'll see if there are any improvements. Because personal myself, I feel that the community has been screwed twice. Once at the time when was created the plaza, and now that you are in the agreement, you're supposed to become a good neighbor, and you are not, according with the neighbors. Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone from the board who would like to consider an action? Judy.
I move to lay this over till next month.
All right, it looks like that's seconded by Marco Tamayo.
Yes. Second. And please, to the neighbors, come back. And please, when they put the announcement in the community, the flyers, please put on time and put more visible to avoid any conflict in that part. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else of the board that's willing to do any additional action on this motion?
I think if we're going to hold it over, we want to just confirm that the applicant is in agreement with us holding it over. So want to get the Shake Shack representatives, if that Nicholas and Stephen, if that's agreeable to you, to come back after we've had a chance to see if any of the vent work has made any changes, and we can resume the conversation then. It is ultimately up to you, but know that given the temperature, if we were to be asked to make a resolution, I'm unclear whether it would be favorable.
So Nicholas and Stephen, can you make sure they can unmute so that they can comment on this? Kevin or John?
Nicholas, I'm sending you the prompt to unmute. Is everything okay?
Hi. Yeah, if we need to postpone until next month, I'm fine with that to rejoin.
Okay, thank you. Judy?
Not important.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the question on this motion to have this be laid over. Is there any seconds for that?
Second.
Perfect, from Bill. Okay. Right now, the motion is for this application to be held over till the next month so that we can have some sort of understanding of if the improvements have come to pass. If there's anyone who's going to vote no or abstain on this motion, please let me know. Okay, this will be a unanimous approval for that motion to lay this over until the next meeting. Thank you. Let's now go to our third piece of the agenda, which is a renewal application to the New York State Liquor Authority for liquor licenses. Is there a representative from Dorlet Enterprises here?
Dory Enterprises, that would be me, Grace's Marketplace. My name is
Yes,
Pina.
that's right. I'm sorry. I have it as Dorla. Is that wrong?
Oh, no, that's not correct. It's Doria, Doria.
Perfect. It's an I and an L typo, it looks like. Thank you.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. So yes, I represent Grace's Marketplace. I am trying to do my renewal for my state liquor license, which is a beer and wine license. I typically get my license advisory renewal in May, and I did not get it. And I got notification from my brother who was at the store that our license expired on August 31st. At that moment, that was just last week, and so I automatically called the liquor authority, and they told me to go online and print out the advisory letter, which I could not do because there was a glitch in the system. So twice I spoke to two different people at the liquor authority. They They told me they would email me. I had to email them my expired licenses to them so they could send me the advisory letter, which I did. I contacted our attorney. Because our license is now expired, I'm trying to get a 30-day notice so we could put in our window so we don't have any issues with the liquor authority. So I'm requesting from the community board if we could at least get that notice put in our window so we don't have any issues with the with our licenses or expired license while we apply for our renewal.
Okay, thank you. Kevin and John, can we just note the change in the spelling of this application? So it's Doria. Thank you. Are there any members from the public that have comments or questions for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve as presented. Somebody has to second. Thank you.
Perfect. It looks like Robin is seconding that. Judy.
Judy, you're on mute.
You're still muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, they're a wonderful member of the community, and I would just advise everyone to support them. We should have more stores like this in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Abraham.
I'm also supportive and think it's a great establishment. But Pina, I think there was one thing that I think given the short notice that you had of like kind of the scrambling, I think you talked to the board office and that you didn't really get a chance to post for this meeting. So you were going to keep post flyers up and through the full board meeting just in case anyone from the public had any comments. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Just confirming.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. I feel fine calling the question on this. Is there a second for that?
Second.
Yes, from Bill. So if there's anyone who's going to vote no or abstain on this, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a approval. John Phillips, do you have your thumb is just up because you were maybe seconding?
I was seconding it and it should be going down in a second.
Got it. Thank you. All right. So this will go as a unanimous approval. And Pina, thank you for coming, and please do keep those signs posted as we just talked about through the full board meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Now we're going to change the reins over to Abraham. I'll still be on the meeting, but he's going to be doing all of our new applications for the Department of Transportation for sidewalk cafes.
Great. Thanks, Lindsay. Okay, so our first item under the sidewalk, the new outdoor dining program, still used to calling it the old way, is item 4A. Do I have the representative for Bagel Works, 1229 First Avenue? This is a unenclosed 5 tables, 10 chairs, and then 3 tables, 3 chairs, sidewalk and roadway.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's well. Yes, I'm the representative of Bagel Works. My name is Ramsey Hanawi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Just give us a quick rundown of your application and the proposal for the sidewalk and roadway.
Sure. So I'm applying and seeking from the board if I can put 5 tables in the roadway with 10 chairs and 3 tables on the sidewalk with 3 chairs.
Okay, understood. And the existing structure that you have out there, when is your anticipation to have that be removed and replaced?
I believe that goes down before November 1st, so it would be toward the end of October.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Are there any members of the public with questions or comments on this application? Seeing none, I'll go to my colleague Marco Tamayo.
Thank you. I think we had to establish some procedure for these applications. One of my biggest problems, what I find it is, we need to have a very good survey. And most of the applicants, they don't present a good survey. And I don't want to request to have a very good survey because probably it will impact the financially the business. So the best way, what I perceive, is the applicant has to have at least an affidavit as well as an stipulation saying that they will comply with all the rules of the of the DOT. In this case, even though that's extremely very small sidewalk cafe, the fire escape is in the top of one of the tables. So look, I don't want to pick your business. That is not my intention. But the point is, if you file properly in DOT, DOT has to deny that part, or at least reorganize, because you cannot put the awning as well as a table under the fire escape. This is a no-no, and that's basically the regulations, one of the regulations on DOT. So I don't want to go in the direction that you start moving, but I would like to say that you sign an affidavit with us that you comply with DOT. If DOT allows you to do that, to break their own rules, it will be on DOT, not on us. So are you willing to provide an affidavit saying that you will comply with all the rules that DOT has for this kind of the spaces?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
I will
regarding
support your application.
Thank you.
But I cannot put a motion.
Yep. Okay, thank you very much for that, Marco. And yes, and we'll add the stipulations similar to that affidavit. Judy?
I move to approve.
Okay. Bill?
Bill, you're muted.
I second it.
Wonderful.
I'll call the question.
Thank you. Second on that. Okay, so let's go to the roll. This is a motion to approve with the stipulation of complying with all of the DOT regulations. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, let me know. Otherwise, this will go as an approval, and I think we still have the same tally of individuals, still 9. Okay, great. Okay, seeing no hands, this is a 9-0 approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Appreciate it tremendously.
Great. Okay, moving on to our next applicant. Do I have a representative for Calf and Bowl DBA Home Kitchen, 155 East 84th? This is a unenclosed 8 table, 17 chairs roadway.
Hi, good evening. I'm Peter, the owner of Home Kitchen, and I'm applying just to get my roadway license with the DOT, the permit for the DOT with, as it states, 8 tables, 17 seats, nothing on the sidewalk, and complying with all the rules and regulations. I do have an affidavit already for delivery. All my deliveries by foot, unless it's out of my delivery zone for the bike purposes. I do have accessibility onto the street, off the sidewalk with a ramp if needed. And I'm pretty spot on with the DOT. I'm waiting for their final inspection, and then whatever needs to get done will get done in a timely manner.
Great, thank you for that and addressing those points anticipatorily. Marco, well, actually first, are there any members of the public? Questions, comments? Seeing none, Marco.
Yeah, I have a question. I read very carefully your application, and I called my attention because you are in the residential district. And since it's a residential district, I pay strongly attention to those applications because the mill block is completely for residential use. You cannot use for commercial. So I checked your certificate of occupancy. If something is wrong in your certificate of occupancy, they call cellar, and this is not a cellar. In the best scenario, it should be basement. But whatever it is, it means I feel uncomfortable to support this application because it may, I think probably if you file for a letter of no objection, which basically the Department of Building, it will take care of this case. Even though that you're applying for the roadway cafe, but you have also an enlargement or an extension on the sidewalk cafe. I see in the pictures. So personally myself, I feel a little bit uncomfortable to support your application, even though it looks like it's a cafe. But the business is my concern, that if the business do not belong over there, it should be residential. Now the community will have a large, and the entire city have a large deficit of housing. So probably it shouldn't be there. And I don't want to be 100% because I saw in your CO clearly said a restaurant, but they said restaurant in the cellar. And that is not a cellar. The best scenario for you, it should be a basement. So I think probably you need a clarification from DOB. And the best to clarify, it will be a letter of no objection, which is, it won't be expensive. It will be quicker for you. That's my opinion about your, unless you have a letter of no objection right now.
All right. Thank you. My speakers are a little muffled, so I'm just reading the captions at the bottom. So I just want to make sure I'm clear that you're saying that you see that on my plans it says cellar and there's a issue with the occupancy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. And from the beginning, this cellar, sub-basement, whole situation, it's when the building and the restaurant prior to me was designed and created, that's how they labeled everything. I mean, yeah, I'd have to talk to somebody because you have to go down 2 or 3 stairs. That's why they're classifying it as a cellar. This is what we were told.
Let me clarify. If you go down 2 or 3 steps, that means it's a basement. And that basically, if it's a basement, yes, you can have that part. Also, I review your CO was issued in 1973, 74, which basically probably you were lucky, they were lucky at that time that there wasn't RAB, which is more strictly for residential use. So the best way to deal, and that's I'm advising you, is just go to the web of DOB, file for a letter of no objection. It will cost $130. And then DOB will make a determination. And then it will be resolved for a lot of problems for you. And if you cannot do that, the landlord can do that. It's just only file a letter of no objection along with the existing CO that you have. So then basically it clarifies your position, because as a cellar is not habitable, is not for commercial use. I think I'm trying to help you. I'm not.
No, I appreciate that. I just, so I can let you know too, I am the different levels. I have a cellar, sub basement and basement. And it's because of all the different levels once you get inside to the business. So I will take the email and, when I get the letter from you guys, do what I have to do to make sure everything's clarified clearly. So thank you.
Please file a letter of no objection. It will be clarified for you. In the future, you may have a problems. And if DOB step in and said this is okay the use, you're fine. But we need, personally, myself, I cannot recommend something that I consider unlawful. And that's the case right here. But
thank you, Marco.
if you do that, then they clarify for you. It will good for your business.
Okay, thank you very much. So to clarify, yeah, that's Marco's recommendation with respect to the existing space. The application before us is for the outdoor the roadway application. So that's what I'll be taking into consideration in terms of the actions taken for this particular application. Do I have any other board members? No. Okay. Do I have any motions or recommendations?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Bill?
I was about to say that I want to approve the application, so I second it.
Okay, great. Judy?
Call the question.
Okay. If anyone opposes, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to the roll. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause, please let me know. Marco? Can we unmute Marco?
Thank you. I'm going to say no.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, so that goes down as an 8-1 approval, and that'll go to the full board. So I would invite you to, one, look into Marco's suggestion. I think it's a very valid suggestion and might help you with any other future items you might have before this board. So something to look into as he suggests going for the letter of no objection.
Yep, no, I
Okay,
appreciate that. Thank you.
great. Bill, do you have something left on this item?
Yes, I would like to make a recommendation to the applicant is to Google NYC BESS. It is a city agency with the New York City Department of Small Business Services that can help small businesses to navigate the issue that you're experiencing.
Very kind. Thank you.
Great suggestion. Thank you, Bill. Okay, next, we're going to go to item 4C. This is Lagulu, 29 East 61st Street. This is for an unenclosed sidewalk cafe, 6 tables, 12 chairs. Do we have the representative? Steve?
How's that?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay. I have a sore throat, but with that, I want to say hello to Judy and Barry and John and Kaz. I wish he was there. We have a lot of good memories. So and Marcos, how are you? So I've done a couple of thousand sidewalk cafes. I represent Lagulu. So if you have any questions, please.
So it's just a standard out sidewalk cafe, 8 and 12, 6 and 12, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do I have any members of the public on this application? Seeing none, I will go to Marco.
Yes, one question, Steve. Are you compliant with all the rules and regulations, the sidewalk and the roadway cafes?
Let DOT determine that.
Good. Okay, but you are willing to have an affidavit saying that DOT will be check and approve that. Is that correct?
I'm not required to submit an affidavit, and it's not required. You're adding a lot of baggage to this process that's already heavy laden. Sorry. And I'm not the owner, so.
Okay, so basically my recommendation, I will vote against. Thank you.
Okay. Judy? Okay, let's move to approve. Bill seconds. Lindsay? Lindsay's calling the question.
Yeah, I'll call the question.
Great. If anyone's opposed, let me know. Otherwise, this will go as a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, let me know. Marco?
Yes, I want to vote no.
Okay, thank you, Marco. Okay, I think that is all. We'll go, that is an 8-1. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on our list is 4D, DBA Jacques Brasserie, 204 East 85th. Do I have the representative or applicant? Yes, I see Kevin's hand.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Kevin, I'm the representative for Jacques Brasserie. First of all, before I say anything else, I would like to apologize to all the members of Community Board 8 because we posted the notices pretty late, and that was completely my fault. John was very, very helpful, and he called me, he emailed me. I unfortunately was out of the country, and I really, it should have been done by somebody else, and it wasn't. Unfortunately, that's my fault. So before anything, I would like to apologize to all of you for doing that. So my application is pretty much consists of a roadway cafe of 6 tables and 24 chairs, and we also applied for the sidewalk cafe, which we have had the permit for since 2013, and that's for 10 tables and 20 chairs. Um, Pretty straightforward. No music outside. As of right now, we have live music every Thursday from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m., and that's indoors, and the doors are always closed, so you really cannot hear anything from the street. Other than that, we are compliant with all regulations. DOT has come to our establishment numerous times, and they probably did about 5 inspections then this year, and so we're all good with DOT and DOB as of right now.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for highlighting the posting, but you'll keep those up through the full board, correct?
Definitely.
Okay, great, thank you. Do you have any members of the public? Seeing none, I'll go to Robin.
Yeah, Abraham, thank you. I'd like to ask Kevin a question. You had mentioned that you're requesting 6 tables in the roadway?
Correct.
Okay, how many are in there now?
Right now we have 8 tables with that would be 30 chairs.
Okay, because I'm your neighbor and also a customer, and it looks like, Kevin, that you're just using that space to store extra chairs. It doesn't look like a functional dining kind of place.
Well, right now, you're correct. We during the summer, especially, it's a slow season for us, so it doesn't. I do know that it doesn't look busy. We mostly use it because, first of all, it's wheelchair accessible. So a lot of our patrons are older people. With the recent strain of COVID, a lot of people are only sitting there because it's all open, and I understand there's a lot of space. We probably don't need it, but the only reason we're filing this application is only to give space to those people who refuse to still come into the restaurant, give them a chance to still enjoy our food, and personally, I think I agree that it's a lot of space, but a lot of people benefit from it, so that's the only reason we want to keep it.
No, I don't. I certainly agree that it's a great idea. Folks do like to eat in the roadway. There's no discussion of that. But my only question is, like, it's this huge thing, and the utilization of it is de minimis. So it's just really not tracking for me. Let's say it like that.
Well, the application that we filed is definitely for a smaller space. What we have right now is, I think it's about give me a second. It's about 62 feet long. So the application that we filed for next year is for only 51 feet, which is the length of of the restaurant, pretty much. Right now, we're extending a bit further out to the west side of the street, but the plan is to make it smaller, definitely. So it won't, like empty space.
Thank you. One last quick question, Abraham. What are you going to do with all those chairs that are just stacked up in there?
Probably sell them. I don't think we're gonna store them because I don't think we're gonna use them. Or donate them to whoever wants to take them. Probably.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I will have to talk to the owner and see what.
Okay, Kevin. Yeah, just only because it's really not so good looking on 85th Street. So thank you.
We will correct that. Trust me. Yeah, we will make it look better.
And one thing to note, the kind of that big structure won't be the same for these new plans, given the new requirements of the roadway. So it will be a more less imposing structure. well, won't even be a structure actually. So,
Got
okay, Marco and then John.
Yeah, I appreciate that you apologize for the notice to the public, but you know what? The most important part of this meeting is the open meeting law. And if it fails the whole process. It's extremely important for us to notify the community of these meetings. So the question is, when was posting this announcement?
The announcement was posted last night. Last
Well,
night, and yeah, it was pretty late.
I mean, that is a big problem because the law required that you had to post on time, and that will be in violation now, not the DOT. So in violation
Marco,
of
let
the
me interrupt you very quickly. The flyers have nothing to do with the open meeting law.
Well, let me tell you one thing. The flyer is part of the communication with the community. I don't know how long it has been in the community board, but that's the procedure that we has been using. And that's the posting that has to be placed on the area. Who's posting? I don't know, but somebody has to post that. And you see, this is the only way to communicate with the public. And that's the open meetings law.
So I spoke with Will earlier, and he flagged this one to us. And Kevin, I believe we said that we were providing a kind of an updated flyer so that people would be aware that this application will be coming before the full board, so that they could also speak there, given the late notice, right?
Yes, we will do that. And the flyers have nothing to do with the open meeting law, just to clarify. But yes, they will, Kevin, you'll be required to flyer prior to our full board meeting in light of this situation.
Absolutely. In all fairness, I this is the first time I do this. I really had no idea what to expect, and I mean, going forward, I trust me, I'm gonna do that as soon as you send me the notices. I'll be up the same day. I apologize again for the misunderstanding.
Well, I think we had to request the chair of the community board. What is the procedure of the public notification? The only way that I understand in more than almost 20 years, it was the notice to the public. And that is extremely important. I think Judy knows very well too. So this is the only way to reach the community. Unless we can post, we can do something else. Otherwise, we'll be in violation of the open meeting law.
Well, again, leaving aside the open meetings law, what we spoke to with the board office is that the compromise we did so that we do have notice to the public is that they will be providing the applicant new flyers to notify the public that their application is coming before the full board, so that they are provided an opportunity to speak to that if they like to. And if we need to, we can make an alternative action with regards to this application at that time. Okay, John, then Judy.
Thank you, Abraham. This may be a little bit after the fact, but I think it's important to kind of reiterate for Robin. The way that the outdoor cafes look right now are going to look nothing like that after November. The laws are very, very particular. They take back a lot of space, particularly in front of the residential entrances and exits and anything near fire hydrants or anything like that. So I know a lot of the outdoor, especially roadway dining, has really occupied a lot of space, and I truly believe that's going to get a lot better. The one question I have for you, Kevin, and thank you for coming on and being so gracious, is I see on the application that it says an enclosed cafe. What is that in reference to? Is that in reference to the storefront or the roadway dining?
Well, then again, I go back to the fact that I wasn't really. I had a conversation with John. John called me a few times, and he tried to clarify that. Well, I tried to clarify that I applied for both roadway and sidewalk cafe. So he only had my application for the roadway cafe, and that one will be open. But the sidewalk cafe is the one that is and that is currently enclosed. I mean, at least to the sides. But during the winter, it's completely enclosed. So
right. And that's kind of what I'm speaking to. And I'm a little unclear with what the rules are right now. But from what I understand, we'll call it the sidewalk cafes cannot be completely enclosed.
Correct.
And so I just want to give you a heads up on that. So that means that you can partially cover the left and right side, but not the face of it, because again, most of it's going to be seasonal. And I do understand that you put in for your outdoor cafe permit, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, we will, yeah, we will review that and we'll do whatever we need to do to be,
Well, the point is, it's a little unclear to me, so just make sure before you do anything in particular. I mean, I would definitely confirm that because the rest of the neighborhood could get pretty edgy.
absolutely, yes. No, definitely, I'll check, make sure that we're compliant. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
again, you had said you had filed the sidewalk application. The unenclosed piece, unenclosed is a technical term that goes to like structures that are enclosed. You see a lot of the diners that have that kind of glass facade enclosed sidewalk. That's what those really pertain to, not in this, not in your case, which is an unenclosed sidewalk cafe. You may do those wind guards that you have. That doesn't make it unenclosed. Just that's a technical term. So you might want to just check your application there to make sure you're not you didn't maybe inappropriately check something.
Okay, definitely, I'll do that.
No problem. Judy, then Marco.
I'd like to make a motion and speak to it. I move it to approve.
Second.
I think that since he's going to repost it with the help of the board office tomorrow, and the community has a chance to come out and speak at the full board meeting. If there are objections to this establishment, I think that there's no reason not to approve it. That's my opinion.
Thanks, Judy. Marco?
Well, I think I remember very well, if I'm not wrong. John, he's right. This never have an enclosed sidewalk cafe. If we approve this enclosed sidewalk cafe, we have to approve all of them, so we have in serious trouble. Last meeting, it was the chair of the community board that went against one applicant that enclosed the sidewalk cafe, and we strongly disapprove of that. And we have to maintain consistency. What is for one applicant is the same for all applicants. And I think the enclosed sidewalk cafe is, for me, is another way to say no to this application, unless he correct properly or maintain with all the rules and regulations of DOT.
Thank you, Marco. So just Kevin, just to be clear here, so the application we have before us is for the roadway dining. You've already in a separate action done the sidewalk?
Yes, I did it about 3 weeks after. The roadway I applied for very early, as soon as they posted the requirements. I filed the application, and it took me about a month to get it right. There was a lot of back and forth with DOT. So as soon as I finished the roadway and they were satisfied, then I filed the sidewalk cafe about 3 weeks after.
Okay, great. And would you, just based on the conversation today and what Marco has highlighted, are you agreeable to stipulate that you will abide by all of the DOT applications, both for the sidewalk cafe and the roadway cafe? And by that, we mean that it, as John spoke to and Marco, that it cannot be enclosed. So just so you know, now that you're aware, is that something you're agreeable to?
We're a neighborhood restaurant, and we want to keep all of our neighbors happy, which are most of our patrons are regulars that live in the neighborhood. So we need to do whatever we need to comply and to keep everyone happy.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we have a motion that has been seconded. Does anyone want to call? Judy.
Call the question.
Okay, great. So there's a motion to approve with the stipulation of complying with all the DOT regs. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, do let me know. Marco?
Yeah, I'm going to approve. I wanted to support this application, but I'm going to make a big issue of the open meetings law that is not in compliance, and that's a serious problem. Thank you. But I'm going to support this application.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is a 7-0 approval because I know Lindsay stepped off and looks like Todd is also no longer with us. So that makes 7 by my count. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, next on our list, we have 4E. This is Bar Italia, 768 Madison Avenue. Do we have a applicant or representative for Bar Italia? Steve's waving his hand.
Hi.
Kevin and or John, was this one of the ones that one that was flagged or not? Because I'm seeing in the notes about the outreach. Or Will?
I'm just pulling it up right now. Apologies.
I'm just asking because I see the notes that say sent 4 emails, called 2 times. But I do see that all the application materials are here, so just want to make sure that we're all set.
Yeah, that was just to be transparent that I did reach out to them, but all the information was sent by them.
Okay, great. All right, sorry about that, Steve. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I just want to say, if you're still on, say hello to Jacques. We did both his restaurant and his sidewalk cafe 13 years ago. I hope he's well. So yeah, we've submitted, just for the record, we've submitted 125 sidewalk cafes. And I've been trying to go to all the community boards, find out which ones are on. And apparently the community boards are not being notified by DOT easily. So, but I'm here. And any questions about this one? And I did have one question though. I see another Schneider on the list here. Is that related to you, Judy? And Barry? Yeah, great. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry,
So,
yeah.
No, you're fine. Okay, so we have, do you have any members of the public on questions, comments on this application for the 8 tables and 16 chairs and 6 tables, 12 chairs, roadway and sidewalk? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to Marco.
Yeah, again, the same question, Steve. Are you willing to comply with all the rules and regulations of DOT?
So my answer to you is, why wouldn't I?
Well, if you said so, it means, are you in this agreement to put that you're going to, that an stipulation that you obey the rules and regulations of DOT? Because the issue right here is very simple. It is required to have a very good survey, and none of the applicants present a good survey. So therefore, for me, it's very hard to recommend the applications. But if I don't have that possibility, the best possibility is comply with DOT. If DOT said no to something, we will support DOT. That is basically the bottom line.
So we've been talking for years, Marco, and my answer to you is, that's DOT's job, not yours.
Okay. So with all respect, I'm going to say exactly in the way that you answer. I'm going to answer to you. Thank you.
Okay, Judy.
I forget where we are. Put a motion on to approve.
Okay, I will second, I see a thumbs up second from Bill. And yes, John?
Yeah, just to clarify, this is Mad Restaurant LLC, correct? That's what the one we're hearing on, correct? Just want to clarify.
Bar Italia.
Yes, yep.
Mad
They did
Restaurant,
not. I just want to clarify. They did not actually send us the resources. So their sheet is. That's why I'm marked it there as 4 emails sent, 2 calls. Just to clarify.
When you say they did not send the resources, what do you mean?
They did not send the street life application information, photographs, sidewalk, site plan, notarized affidavit, proof of posted public notice flyer.
Steve, do you have a response to the
Oh,
flyer?
I mean, I can reach out to them so they could do it prior to the full board meeting, as your previous thought process was. I wasn't involved in that process. I do believe that they should have done all that, Jonathan. So I can reach out to them and remind them, or whatever it takes, to remind them that they have that kind of an obligation to the community.
Steve, perhaps we
Yes,
can
sir.
talk because there was some issue reaching out and getting in touch with those people. So we couldn't even talk to them at
Oh.
all. So maybe tomorrow we can talk about that. But whatever the
Sure.
board votes, I mean the committee votes tonight will ultimately be the resolution.
Do you want me to call you Kevin or what? Kevin.
If you
I
guys
just
can,
wanted, so I
I'm
just wanted
sorry.
to say that
Yeah.
John mentioned that we didn't have any materials. We didn't have any materials, Steve, because we cannot get in contact with
No,
anyone from this restaurant. So
I
that is
got
why
it,
we don't have any of the materials.
but I can. I know them. And I
Okay,
will,
so
but do you want me to call you?
whatever
Yeah.
the committee votes on, whether they want to do the flyering now between full board and whatever, we can talk. If they agree to that, then we should communicate tomorrow about getting in touch with those people so we can get those materials. But it's up to the committee what they decide to choose.
okay. Thank you, Kevin. So Judy, given this information for your motion to approve, would you be comfortable adding the stipulation that it's subject to-
No,
No?
I want to withdraw the motion. Why don't, if he submits everything, why don't we just do it at the full board? And let him let the restaurant post, let them submit all the information. You and Lindsay will look at it, and then you bring it up as a new item under new business for your report. I'd be more comfortable that way.
Okay. Do I have
Okay,
a,
because we don't know what we're voting on. We don't have anything.
okay, so in that case, Kevin and Steve, or John and Steve, if you guys chat tomorrow, and find out what's missing, then we can get it resolved at the full board.
The committee has no resolution on this then?
We're going to lay over pending the discussion for full board. All right. Great. All right. Thank you very much. Next item is 4F, Famous Corner DBA Point Grill. This Point Grill. Okay, I see. Can you tell us
Good
your
evening,
name?
Community Board. My name is Albert Soror from Grill Point, Famous Corner USA, DBA Grill Point, 1215 Lexington Avenue.
Okay. And okay, so before you get started, so Kevin and Jonathan, is this the same thing that we did not get materials?
We did not get their notarized affidavit, sidewalk site plan form, and photographs of storefront where the sidewalk is and or will be.
You have all of that. It was all emailed to you.
I'm
Can I see that
looking at
again?
I'm looking at the packet that was emailed to us, and I do see photos of the front. I'm looking for the affidavit. I don't think I see the affidavit.
Apologies, I'll pull it up right now.
And was flyering done?
Yes, flyering was done yesterday and today, according to the site map that was provided by Mr. Kraus.
That's correct.
Okay, so then the only thing missing is just the affidavit then.
I'm sorry, I 100% did email that application with a notary signature on the bottom right left corner. Excuse me, on the bottom right corner. Excuse me.
Okay. We'll look for that. If not, if you don't mind just resetting that email, just so it's
So let me see if I could have somebody send it right now. My apologies.
all right. All right, good. Glad we have that cleared up. Thank you very much.
Thank
So
you.
is a roadway unenclosed, 6 tables, 24 chairs.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have any members of the public with questions or comments? If not, then I'll go to Marco and then
Thank
to
you.
John.
I would like to ask a question. You're saying that you sent, well, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt to you. So the question is, the only thing I would like to ask you is, are you willing to put a stipulation that say that you will comply with all rules and regulations of DOT?
No.
No? You oppose?
No, it's not required for an affidavit for the Department of Transportation.
No, this is for Community Board 8.
For the application with the notary on it?
It just only is part of the stipulation that you're saying that you will comply, because in reality, we don't have the drawings, we don't have anything, we don't have
So when we have applicants, we can add stipulations to it. So the stipulation that Marco is requesting is whether you will make a stipulation saying that you will comply with the regulations of the Department of Transportation with respect to the roadway cafe.
I will comply, yes.
Okay, thank you. I will support.
Okay,
So
John?
you've anybody here seen the restaurant before, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a number of questions, actually. You are submitting 2 separate applications, one for the outdoor cafe and separately for the roadway. Is that correct?
Are you asking that question because there wasn't one submitted for the sidewalk and you see pictures of the chairs on the sidewalk?
That's exactly why I'm asking that, yeah.
So I didn't realize there's 2 applications. So I'm going to make an application after educating myself on this Zoom for the sidewalk and for the roadway we already did, and for the sidewalk.
Yeah, I believe there's no issue with that. It's just usually I think people are submitting both at the same time, and so I had to ask that question.
I didn't know that there was an application for the sidewalk, because I remember many years ago that was through the Department of Consumer Affairs through a sidewalk cafe.
Yeah, the sidewalk cafe process prior to, let's say, 9/11 is much different than it looks right now, and so it's a lot more robust now, as you can imagine, because a lot more people are trying to get those permits. I also had another quick question, and this is really a question. The pole that's used for, I guess, chaining up bikes, do you know what the allotted square footage for that is? How close can you get your cafe to that?
I don't think there's a requirement, and those chains that are used, those are for bikers that come in for Uber Eats orders and deliveries that are very in and out for a few minutes. They just like to chain their bikes there because of the theft that goes on in New York City. But to answer your question about the square footage, I'm not 100% sure about the answer, but I know that there is no restriction of it being in front of it, because the Department of Transportation has been there numerous times to say what you can do or what you can't do. Actually, they're very friendly, and they're very they're very easy to speak with, which is very good, so they can tell you what you can or cannot do.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like I said, it's an honest question. I really don't know what the answer is to that, but I'm sure they have an opinion about it. Just like so many other elements of these, the sidewalk cafes and roadway constructions. I also see in the picture that the tables kind of go past your storefront. Just a heads up, the frontage for your store is going to be the maximum width you can actually expand on the sidewalk, and the roadway also follows in line with that.
Okay, so it should be aligned within the same frontage of the roadway cafe. The chair should be not more than that. Okay.
Of your storefront. So basically, I mean, from what I think I could tell here, from the left side of the glass to the right side of the glass seems to be your frontage, and all of the tables and chairs would have to be in front of that. Perhaps that gray area is yours as well. I'm not 100% sure.
So the gray area where they have the mural of we have a mural to the left. We share
That's your
that with.
mural.
I'm sorry. We share. Yes, that's our wall. That's the landlord allowed us to put a mural there, and it's up into the where we have the last end of the mural, and then it becomes the pizzeria next door's property section where they have to keep clean.
Okay, so to the best of my understanding, you can use that space as well then.
Correct. It's all the way up into where the landlord allowed us to do the mural.
Okay, no problem. And just one more question on your drawing.
Yeah.
I see something that that outlines the roadway dining, and then I see something that's kind of labeled with a 15-foot arc in front of it on the roadway side. Would you mind explaining that to me?
So you're looking at a picture?
I am. I'm looking at the drawing of the layout for the roadway dining.
Can you share that on the screen? I'm sorry.
I can't share it because it would take me to figure that out, but it's right after your last picture. It's the DOT application for roadway.
And there's a picture of an awning.
It could be an awning.
It's in front of
It
the
says
store.
dining. Then you have Lexington Avenue and a bus lane earmarked here. 82nd Street going east-west, and then you have something that is labeled 15 feet and 24 feet.
John, if you want to share, you can share now your screen.
Okay, and how would I do that?
The green button in the middle says share.
Okay.
Let's see. Picture.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, I see the diagram.
so this 15-foot and 24-foot indication is referring to what?
That's referring to you're required to have that piece when you see that on the other side. Okay, hold on one second. This is 82nd Street. 82nd Street. Oh, this right here on the diagram is the street. The 15 feet is the frontage is the I believe the frontage side.
So did this suggest to me, and again, I could just be misinterpreting this, that the roadway dining goes all the way up to the crosswalk here, and this may be an opening to the street?
So this is before the sidewalk. You see the three lines right there, and then that's a parking space that the city has that you can park a vehicle there.
Okay.
And then it goes all the way up into P1 and P2. It should say here what P2 is. I didn't.
So
P2 is a loading zone.
Oh, okay. I thought that was part of your outdoor dining. I'm sorry.
No.
That's misunderstanding.
No.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I'm
that's
sorry
right.
about that. Somebody called me. My apologies. So no, that is not, sir. Mr. John.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, do we have any motions or recommendations? Judy?
Move to approve.
Great. Second, Bill? Thank you for that. All right, so I'm happy to call a question. If anyone opposes, let me know. So there's a motion to approve. We're at a mighty 7. So if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go as approval. No, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, that goes in approval. Thank you very much, and good luck with the application process.
The continuous of the application process.
Yes, exactly.
And do we have another meeting for this?
This will go to the full board meeting. It's a unanimous recommendation, so it is likely to also be approved there, but you're welcome to attend the full board meeting as well. And that's September 18th.
And John, and I should reach out to John or he'll reach out to me, Mr. Kraus?
For the
Or it's just
date,
September 18th?
it's September 18th. It's actually in person or Zoom.
Okay.
So you can find that on our website.
Thank you. It's a Community Board 8 website.
Yes.
Thank you.
CB8M.
I'll be on the website.
Great.
I can
Thank you
send it
very
to you
much.
if you want me to also.
Please, Mr. Kraus. Thank you.
Okay, we are down to our last item of the evening. This is 4G. Do we have the representative for Masseria East, 1404 3rd Avenue? This is for a roadway cafe unenclosed, 4 tables, 8 chairs. Yes, I'm seeing Ari.
Yes, hi, Harry Callion here. My associate Denise Garcia is here. Could we unmute her as well?
Great.
Great. So this is Peg Rep 1404 LLC. This is an DOT outdoor dining application. So as a preliminary matter, similar to the other applicants, we're the attorneys on this. We stepped in just today. We got the notification. The notification went to our client's spam box. So they got to us, I believe, last night. And so we stepped in, we scrambled to get all the materials to you by 3 p.m. today, putting the applications together, getting everything to you. We coordinated with John and I believe William and confirmed that we will get the affidavits done by the full board hearing. And the full board meeting, and we are also the client is putting up the notice flyers right now prior to the full board meeting. So I believe you have everything else, and if there's anything else missing, we'll get it to you. We literally had to drop other matters in order to ensure that we made this meeting because we couldn't lay it over.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much.
So this is, like I said, 1404 3rd Avenue between 79th and 80th. It's just the sidewalk. There's 4 tables, 8 chairs. They've been in operation here for, I believe, 2 years. It's called Masseria East is the restaurant name, and that's it.
Great. Thank you very much for that clarification. Okay, is there anyone from the public? Okay, seeing none. Judy?
Yeah, the flyer that you're posting, does it say anything about coming to the full board meeting on the 18th? Or is it a flyer for today's meeting?
The flyer we have says the date of today's meeting. Would you like us to?
I think you need to do what the other applicants are doing and have John or Kevin work with you for a new flyer tomorrow, telling everyone that they can come to the full board meeting on the 18th and testify if they have any complaints.
We'll do that. Absolutely. Yep.
Thanks, Judy. Marco?
Yes, I would like to ask a question. Are you willing to put on a stipulation that you will fully in compliance with the DOT regulations?
The client will stipulate to that, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's perfectly fine. I will support the application, even though that the issue of the open meetings law, I'm going to recheck and I have to follow up with this part. I'm sorry for that, but that is the way that the community board operates. And that is the bottom line. That is the beginning of the democracy. And that's what it is, this meeting. You as an attorney knows very well that it has to be open to the public and notified on time. It's nothing against you, is because that is our law. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion? Bill, John, Judy, Robin. Bill.
Motion to approve.
Okay, great. Judy. Second, great. Okay, and then I'll call the question. If anyone opposes, let me know. Otherwise, we're at the roll. This is a motion to approve with the stipulation of compliance, being in compliance and complying with all of the DOT regs. We're still at our mighty 7. So if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, let me know. Otherwise, this will go as a 7-0 approval. Okay, that's approved. Thank you very much. And yeah, please make sure you follow up with John or Kevin tomorrow to follow up with those steps.
Will do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that concludes the agenda. So unless there's any other items, I will welcome motions. Marco?
Yes, I'm concerned in the way that we recommend the approvals with the open meetings law. We have to be very careful because this is basically the bottom line of the community boards. That is one. And the two is since you see the one of the last applications, they are poorly done. We are not going to ask to do a professional presentation, but the problem is there are several regulations that has to demonstrate in the drawings, and we don't have a time to go and verify that actually they comply with these regulations. And the only way, there is no other way that I find myself, is that the applicant have this affidavit and a stipulation that's saying that we'll fully comply with DOT. Because if we don't do that, and if we approve, then the applicants, they can make a case against DOT, and it becomes that the community board is changing the regulations of DOT, and it will be very hard for them to enforce the law. So my recommendation is we have to have always an affidavit from the applicant, especially in the case of my colleague, that he's the only one that he presents something tricky in the drawings. And that's basically made me feel very bad, because this is not the way that a professional behave in the public. So he is the only one that is reluctant to collaborate with that part, and I think it's wrong. And that is I'm going to speak on the full board, that's saying that is the only applicant that come in and they try to trick us in the way that he presented to us, and he is unwilling to collaborate with all procedure. And thank you.
Thanks, Marco. I'm agreement that we can definitely have a stipulation with regards to the compliance. I think the affidavit piece is duplicative, and I think that's what the rejection was by Steve. So I'm not going to resort to calling adjectives such as tricky to individuals. Okay, anyone else with any other business? Okay, with that I will, Judy.
Move to adjourn.
Great. I see seconds. All right, everyone, enjoy the evening's activities, and I will see you at the full board. Good evening.